Ms. Holt, do you want to sign?
It was here when I got here.
No. Let's go stand up and speak. It works. It works.
Just gonna say hi.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good thing.
But I can if I need to. If I need to do it officially.
No, I'm just. Second.
I didn't set it when I went off. I set it not quite accurately when I adjusted for daylight savings.
Pen just cut out, sorry.
I see it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Jesus.
It's on the pen went out, sorry. Okay.
Huh?
Maybe don't.
What's that? Okay.
Suppose him at the first time took first installed the pledge protecting.
Yes, sir. That's true.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome everybody to our May 29th Commissioners Court meeting. Let the record reflect that we have a quorum. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Note that all the commissioners are here and ask that you join me in a stay on the Pledge of Allegiance and a prayer by Brother Matthew. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
That's correct. Heavenly Father, we thank you again for another day. We thank you for many blessings. Thank you for leading me and guiding us, keeping your hand upon us. And we ask that you be with us in this meeting, and we'll give you the praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Item number 4. Any public comment? 3. Mr. Deere.
Commissioners and Your Honor, there are 2 disasters that need to be addressed. They are not on today's agenda. I know that the flood situation is bad enough in itself, but we still have the communications problem that exists in the entire county. I don't know how many people have come up to me this week and asking me questions in regards to what can we do about the communications in this county. I think, gentlemen, that you kind of underestimate your empowerment when it comes to a couple of issues. One of them is the AT&T tower out here that interferes when we have a communications system that interferes with the signal, and all it's going to take is for you to use your empowerment with the FCC and go to the FCC and complain on behalf of the Sheriff's Department and our security and safety of the community that they make the necessary alterations to prevent the disturbance and the lack of signal as a result of their tower. What they need to do is they need to put a repeater up there and that will eliminate the problem at no charge. And the other disaster is SB 22. It's not on today's agenda. I'm a little peeved to hear the discrimination between the sheriff's office and the district attorney's office. It's my understanding that when I missed the meeting last week, you authorized the district attorney for their $175,000 grant to utilize the money as they saw fit to do so. And as a result of it, $75,000 went to one employee. And I don't know where the other 100,000 went, but isn't that discrimination? And actually, if you get right down to it, it's misappropriation of funds, because you took the money that belongs to the sheriff and put it in your capital fund instead of authorizing the sheriff's department. And it's in black and white as to what the money was earmarked for. And as a result of it, a disaster has taken place in our sheriff's department with personnel, because they can no longer stay, because it takes more money in this day and age, as we all know, to live. And with you withholding the SB 22, I'd like to think that you're in violation of the law. And I'm hoping that somebody...
You're right. This isn't on the agenda. It's not on the agenda. It's not a subject, and your 3 minutes are up.
Well, we'll pack the court next time and we'll get some results.
Chief King? Good to see you at the Memorial Day event that was the other day. Chief King's always there, and he was in his full dress. What war were you in?
Everything for the past 30 years.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, all right. But anyway, it was a nice event, and appreciate you being there and representing. Go ahead, sir.
This is about the request for the overtime. I know it's on the agenda. I just wanted to. It's like these disaster floods, or this is like every week we're going through this drill. I sent a message to you guys yesterday about the radio being down and all that. We're still having trouble with the fire, the EMS.
So I didn't see the message about the radio.
The fire and EMS radio channels went down, of course, right in the middle of all of this breaking loose.
Yeah.
So we're having to dispatch people with cell phones and all that, but whatever it takes.
Is it a radio problem, or is it the computers that went down?
I don't know yet.
I mean, that's what is there a backup radio? I mean, there would be just a plain old radio.
Well, we're on backup. That's the problem.
Well, the ones I talked to say they have a backup radio. I mean, just a regular radio, not the one that runs through the computer that dispatches.
Yeah, we've got a handheld.
Well, that's what I mean.
But nothing. It didn't work. I mean, it was dead. The SO channel was operational, and you could try to bring everybody to that channel, but then we had the death out at the lake and water rescues.
They found the person that went out for his boat. Was that the one you're talking about?
Yes. And then there were several fires. I mean, the way it works is everything goes bad all at once.
Yes, sir.
I know we've got
I think I can assure you, as far as the item that you're talking about, I don't think there would need no arm twisting on that.
Okay.
That's just my 2 cents worth.
Yes, sir. We've got 2 more people leaving. Lieutenant Bowen is resigning, and Sergeant Gustafson, Marcus Gustafson. There's probably about 3 or 4 following that. So I'm not going to bring up the SB 22 because it's not on the agenda. All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Dennis Holt.
Inactive.
Thank you, Judge and Commissioners, and everyone else. I just wanted to say hello. For those of you who don't know, my name is Janice Holt. I am the Republican nominee for State Representative for House District 22 and 18. I was just reading about House District 22. So I'm excited to be able to work with you going forward. The issue that was brought up with the communication towers, that's all across the district. Unfortunately, we live in the piney woods, and it's hard to get good communication through the satellite towers. But this is 2024, going into 2025. Surely we can get somebody that can work on that issue, and I'm committed to working on that because that's important. We need to be able to, especially during a disaster, need to be able to communicate. Anyway, I won't take 3 minutes. Just wanted to say hello. I'll pop in and out as my time and schedule allows me to be able to be here. I want to know what's going on in every county that's in the district. And feel free to reach out to me with any issues that you may have, and I look forward to working with you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
No, sir.
Item number 5, announcement, possible discussion of items of public or community interest for which no action will be taken. Had a good crowd Monday at the Memorial Day ceremony. Well attended over here. We honored Lieutenant Will E. Copeland, who died in October in the Battle of Leyte, who was from Oakhurst, Texas. I think he was an uncle of former Commissioner Will Copeland, also from Oakhurst. Excuse me. I went and addressed something with the appraisal district yesterday. I got a tax bill from the tax office on all the buyout projects. We were either gonna have to add $11,132 to our budget or get them to take us off the tax roll, because last time I checked with the county, doesn't pay taxes. I got a little chuckle out of that deal. Also checked on the land purchase of the property across from the fairgrounds. We filed it. There's no other place on the agenda to discuss it, so that's what this item's for. The newspaper ad's been run in the paper. The court appointed a lawyer to represent those defendants that we can't locate, the members of that defunct organization from 1952. And as soon as the ad gets run, we'll and the time runs out, and if somebody answers or they don't answer, we'll get the judge to put it on the docket, and maybe we clear that up and get a judgment awarding us that one lot that has a cloud, and we can go ahead and proceed with the sale of that property. The other property that we sold, it was supposed to, we tentatively were going to close in January, and the fellow needed a little more time to gather up his funds. I guess they had a tragedy in the family. Mr. Brandon's he's in his neighborhood. He's going to try to follow up on it, I hope. Yeah. See if you can figure out, if he needs a little more time, that's okay, but we just need to know which way we're going, because I don't want to be pushed too much on that, because he was the only bidder at the time.
I went by there the other day. He wasn't home, so
Yes, sir.
yes.
Anyway, I can't think of.
Did we get anything on the old extension office? Did we get that listed yet?
Well, it's ran in the paper now. We can, if we don't get any bites through the newspaper ad or about, y'all tell everybody you can think of. I put a bug in a few ears. If we don't get anything on it, then I guess we could see about possibly listing it the conventional way. It's just, I think to list it, it's not as easy for us to just go down to the local real estate and list it, process.
When's the bid in on the? What
I
am
don't know if the court announced it, I don't remember. 2 weeks and
Okay,
31st, okay.
31st, okay.
I think that's what they said.
All right.
We have a week to turn in the bid.
Okay,
We're closing out the following Thursday.
that'd be good.
She said there's a week.
Oh, okay.
Did anybody go to the car show that was here over the weekend? I heard they had 150 cars. I just had too many grandkids playing ball in all places.
I came by here Saturday when we put the flags up, headstones. There's quite a few cars out there
Yeah.
on both sides of the road.
That's good.
I was at Tom Ball watching mine, please.
I want to thank Commissioner Mars. My wife was in Shepherd when the storm blew in. They caught them at lunch when they locked down at lunch. Somebody opened the door and let her and the grandbaby go hide in the corner because it was
That's what we're
trees
supposed to
falling every which way. So appreciate you providing
do. No,
shelter.
that's what we're supposed to do.
Anything else that we got? Kick around at this point. If not, we'll move on to the business. I've been advised.
Talk about the STAR program.
Start over. Yeah, I can give a little bit of update.
Sure.
So, right now we're having a disaster recovery center open over at the Innovation Center. It's been successful so far. FEMA's been here for, I believe, 7 days. And they
You just got the shelter closed a few days ago. The last guy moved out and the other shut down. How many? I heard we had like 58 or so.
we ended up having 58 people.
Is that part of what you're gonna tell us, or I don't mind?
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right, I don't want to steal your thunder.
So yeah, we'll come back on that. Since the shelter was closed Friday, over total, we had 58 people in the shelter. I think it was the biggest at the time across the state of Texas. We ended up housing, I can't remember exactly how many animals. It was like 50 dogs and 20 cats, and then Michelle Moss ran that along with A&M team, and they did one work out marvelous.
He's a good guy.
And then, like I said, the FEMA team, they're here. They've done so far. There's been 690 registrations.
That's fine.
288 inspections done already. And so far out of that, we're almost at $2 million of property damage been paid out to the individuals. Almost $2 million. So it's quite a bit of money.
It's been paid out or going to be paid out?
It's going to be paid out. It's going to be paid out.
Allocated or
If the
whatever the
paper's right.
correct word is.
Yeah, it's going to be allocated to them. Red Cross has helped some people on that side. They've helped quite a bit of people. They've even moved some people to California through their programs.
Relocated.
Relocated to California. They said they got tired of getting flooded out.
Relocated to California.
So they moved to California.
That's kind of against the current trend. I thought they were all swarming us.
So,
Poor people.
we've had several volunteer agencies come in and help us out. I think at one time point we've had over 60 volunteers in the county helping from different organizations. So that's pretty impressive. We have a long-term recovery group started and working. They're working with the TITM and they're working with FEMA on their long-term recovery, trying to be prepared for the long game. We've had several STAR requests for assistance out. We're currently working on 2 of them. One is going to be for road and bridge side, getting recycled materials in, and another one is going to be for mosquitoes. The mosquitoes are pretty bad out there. The other day I was out in Shepherd and checking on some property, and it's like they were like little zombies or something trying to get in the truck, the window. So
But the only bad problem about that is half the people want you spraying and the other half don't because it creates,
Everyone's safe.
yeah.
there you go. They do it
You're
so
a
safe.
beekeeper, you don't want them to spray.
Right, and so the process is a long one for the mosquitoes. It has to go through the Department of Health Services. They have to come out and do an assessment and all this other stuff. And then they sit down and fill out a whole bunch of forms, whether we can get it done or we can't get it done. So it's going to be a little bit of a process. And then the road bridge stuff, like I said, the material, trying to get that stuff in. So, appreciate y'all.
So, how many POAs you have, Mark, in y'all's area that needed, trying to get assistance?
Yeah, there's at least two, and we talked about that also, private roads, and they told us that if they're gated, that FEMA cannot help. So, but we don't want to just turn them away because they've had an awful lot of damages, and just because they're gated doesn't mean they don't need the help.
That's right. So we're working with several of them, several of the POAs and HOAs to get them resources if possible. FEMA's trying their best on the back end, trying to find them some resources. Department of Water, not Department of Water, but USDA is looking at what they have, and we've been sending the information out to the HOA and POA.
So why don't, I mean, I don't know you're not the person, I'm just talking this through. Why don't they qualify just because they have a gate?
That I do not know.
They're still taxpayers.
It's not up to the private.
Yeah, but I mean,
It's considered private road, private property. We've argued that for years, you know.
so we got Cape, we got Holiday Villages, we've got Carmela Point.
They're not open to the public.
True.
And that's the catch-all right there.
That's the catch.
If you take the gate away and open it to make it public roads, they're good. But if it's a private road, then, you know, then that's the deciding factor. It's gated to private, then, you know.
I have Lake Waterwheel that, contacted me, and I talked to him this morning. He said that two people yesterday contacted him. I don't know who, he doesn't remember what their names were. But I have Mr. Ramos and his wife, Rebecca, and they're kind of one of the leaders out there, and they contacted me yesterday about it. And I told them I would step them out if we could.
Yeah,
And they wanted, she wanted us to tell y'all special thanks for us helping them with their water, getting that $35,000 for that water. So they just want to tell all y'all thanks for doing that.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot is going to come down to grants for them. Each one of them will be their own recipient. So it's going to be a little bit of a process to work that out. But that's
I know that one house out there had 9 foot of water in it.
Oh, yeah. There's places in Lake Waterwell, there's a house that was on 10 foot stilts that had 2 foot of water in it. So.
Yeah, that's Angie's house.
So.
Angie Hoffer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 8 foot.
Her daughter works part-time for the treasurer's office. Her daughter works part-time for the treasurer's office.
Which one?
Shelby,
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
that's her house.
We fixed the road coming off of 150 going between the Innovation Center and the shelter. That thing had washed out so bad, and I think it took 7 loads or maybe 8 loads to fix both sides of that where people can,
That's good.
get in.
Did a good job. Looks good over there. I just drove over today.
And then on the PSTAT numbers, just so everybody's aware, the county turned in $9,206,815.
That's as of yesterday, maybe?
I pulled it this morning.
Okay.
All right. Anything else on item number 5? All right. They told me they wanted item number. So, okay. Item number 10, there's been a request to table that because they're not ready to go with that. In the treasurer's office. We won't take any action on this on that one.
I told you it's good stuff. That's it. Is anybody?
It's in here today.
That's all I need. Okay. spent that in Tulsa.
Well,
Yeah, you
While
spent that in Tulsa.
I know we're not gonna take action because the treasurer said they weren't ready. I did look at it. It talks about a 3.5% increase. I was visiting with the appraisal district yesterday when I was straightening out that $11,000 delinquent tax bill of ours. He said they went up 28% on them. I don't know if they've got a pool that's had a whole lot of claims or what. 28% that's like hammer time. They're going out for others. I wouldn't be inclined to want to do that, not with a 3.5%, because the last 3 or 4 years, ours has kind of remained the same, which is very unusual for health insurance in my experience. Anyway, well, I guess she's got something. We'll bring it back when she's ready to move forward on. Item number 11. Consideration, discussion, possible vote to approve addendum 2 to contract identification LG S2301502 between Jacinto County and Local Government Solutions LP. Anybody here from the DA's office? They wanted to ask. He said to be paid for, there's a sticky on here. I think they want to add another person on the software. 100% to be paid out of DA Asset Forfeiture Fund. Did the recorder get that?
I'll make that motion.
Second. I have a motion by Commissioner Mars, was it?
No.
Commissioner Natuno, second by Commissioner McAnally. Any questions? Like I say, this addition is to be paid for out of his asset forfeiture fund. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. It's unanimous. 5-0. Paid out of seizure fund. They brought it over and wanted me to just sign off, but I said, I don't have the authority to just sign off. This kind of place, put in a minute for it. They don't really. Yeah, I don't recall you ever doing
You
it.
have an update on that 79 account
An update as to what,
as a total.
no, but we can get one.
An update on that 79 account y'all created. What's it? I seen the one in here, but I don't think that's an updated one because,
He's asking
No,
for
it's
a
not.
running total.
yeah.
All right, item number 12.
Go ahead.
Go run. Please.
Guess you didn't have it right now, do you?
No, I just before we leave, you don't mind. No, or today. I'm just curious.
Item number 12, consideration, discussion, possible vote to write a policy for audit department that states that any affidavit must be signed by department head. Ms. Basham?
Yes, sir.
Oh, sure. Seriously.
So, we just recently, there was a affidavit that was done. It was listed as a pass-through. It had went through court and was approved to do a pass-through for Lyle Engineering. Anyway, so whenever I was going through my budget, it just looked off because I had forgotten about it. But I just wanted, if there is,
You were notified, but you had forgotten about it? Is that what you're saying?
no, I knew that it had happened in court, but the affidavit, so I went to the auditor and, to see why I was over on my budget.
and got the affidavit, which was already done by a commissioner. And if I would have had a copy of it, I would have not freaked out like I did. So anyway, I just feel like the department head needs to sign off on all affidavits if you're responsible for that budget.
Okay, or at least be given a copy, if somebody's writing an affidavit against your budget, to be copied with it, so you know what's going on.
Absolutely.
Well, I think what we need.
Well, that is a pass-through, isn't it? Have they been billed, or have they paid for it?
No, they haven't paid the fees yet.
They haven't paid the fees yet, that's for one of the deals, but the problem goes back for that. It was actually submitted back in February, it came to the courthouse. It didn't come to the person to do it until like 2 months later. And that was the problem with it. And as far as the department head signing off on it, the department head already signed off on it when it comes to court. But irregardless, I think the policy's already set on that, if I'm not mistaken. Because actually the department head would be him. You're the supervisor.
Right.
Okay.
Department head would be who?
I think it's you, you're the one that was the.
But you signed the affidavit.
I signed the affidavit when I finally got it over 2 months later. Yeah, and
But being the supervisor, am I not responsible for my
it
budget?
should be made aware so you get the time. Yeah. It was
Who did it get sent to?
your office.
We should have, I'm sure we passed it to who on down the line, but
Yeah, it was like 2.5 months later.
I don't know about that.
Well, there's an easy solution, then having two signatures on it. The person submitting it and you.
That's what I'm saying.
I
It's
mean,
sort of impossible.
Well,
If
The point is, we already got a policy set. The department heads should decide.
the department head, and she's the department, it come out of her budget, that's all, she was, I think her point is. right?
yes.
And when the money comes in, it goes back.
In theory.
so it was before subdivision passed through, or what?
Well, yeah, when they pay the bill, the subdivider's gonna pay the bill, it should be put back in, and then her budget will go back to where it was. But she planned, she's probably got other things that money need to be spent on, but it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal. I just want to be notified if someone's doing something, billing something out of my budget that I'm responsible for.
That's fair.
Just a copy.
Well, I should have, the bill
That's
should
fair.
have been sent to you, and you actually
That's
should have
fair.
signed the affidavit. But it don't, as long as it gets
Yeah.
done, that's all.
Exactly.
Yeah,
But
that's
just,
fair.
It was just a deal because it came in so late. I didn't really have to pay.
And we've already made a point that any office that it comes there, we'll make sure that the signatures for that department are notified. And made sure that each person knows that they're supposed to review it and sign off on it. That's a policy in our office to begin with.
thank you.
All right, moving right along. Number 13, consideration, discussion, possible vote to approve waiving developmental permits for residents that received damage during the recent flood.
And let me, just kind of fix that just a little bit. We're not waiving, I don't want to waive the development permit.
No.
I just want to waive the fee,
Rebuilding.
just the fee.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it because it came way from the
No.
That's a requirement now. And everybody needs to know that there's substantial damage, 50 cents or above, they're supposed to be getting
Yes,
a permit to redevelop.
yes.
Or if you're getting FEMA money.
Or if you're getting FEMA money, because they will check it.
Okay.
We don't want another tab.
No, we do not.
Yeah, but if you only got anything less than 50% of the damage, you don't need a permit.
That's correct.
To fix your house.
That's correct.
I have a motion by Commissioner Mars, second by Commissioner Brandon. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. It's unanimous, 5-0. Number 14, consideration, discussion, possible vote to approve bond renewal for Sheriff's Department and the county judge. I guess my bond is anniversary. Don't make that one.
Motion for one.
Make that motion.
Second.
Y'all didn't cut one out, the last one? The judge's bond?
Yeah, I came in on April 30th. I've been running without a bond for 28 days. I hope the next time I go to jail, I don't have somebody will make my bond. I tell you, who made the motion?
Brandon.
Got a motion by Commissioner Brandon. Second. By Commissioner Natuno?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? It's unanimous, 5-0. Item number 15, consideration, discussion, possible vote to approve the line item transfer budget amendments to fiscal year 2023-24 budget as attached.
Isn't that the same as number 7?
It's your report, I think.
I don't have anything in that item. It's simple.
I agree. You presented it as a separate item on the agenda. Let's just deal with that during the budget amendments. During budget amendment. Number 16, consideration, discussion, possible vote to approve, adopt, updated San Jacinto County federal grant procurement policy.
This is the last little thing from our audit, our desktop audit on the Globe. They wanted to add that one little sentence into the, and I put the notes in the page of the email from Bonnie Smith from GrantWorks that we've been working with.
We've been undergoing, the buyout is not even over with. And they've been having desktop audits about once a month for the last 3 or 4 months. And they keep going over and over about how our procurement policy was lacking because we put it in the newspaper, we put it on the internet, we sent it to every grant writer that we could think of, like GrantWorks, Raymond Van, Trailer, Waxman, Miss Judy Langford, and I don't think we got but just GrantWorks. Waxman wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole by us, but yet they say we somehow didn't do enough advertising to follow the procurement rules, which I don't know what else you could do. I mean, but if this will make them happy, I'm all for.
I ain't say GLO just run a buck or a train wreck.
Yes, so it's on page 7 of the procurement policy on that, in the,
Well, it says that the line is the county will obtain written authorization from the federal pass-through entity for non-competitive procurements. That means we would have had to got.
We just have to send.
GLO is the pass-through entity, correct?
Yeah.
They would have to give us something in writing. And then about 6 months later.
GrantWorks should have gotten bank forgiveness from GLO for doing this, is what you're saying.
I don't think anybody knew this was the rule. They changed the rules kind of midstream. Is what the grant writers say. I don't know.
I'll make it a second.
Thank you. I was running out of things to say. I got a motion by Commissioner McAnally, a second.
I think David and I both supported it.
Got a second by Commissioner Brandon. Any other comments? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, it's unanimous, 5-0. I don't know, I have a page to sign.
Wait, it's page 15.
I guess I should learn to just quit arguing with them. That's what we need to do. Let's just do the change. So they gotta have something to.
They gotta, what can you say?
Off there. It is current road. And motor traffic, 190. Goes all the way back. Which is using it as easement, the second easement.
During that audit, they also complained, they said, we didn't have anything in our policy to how we would punish or remedy a situation in which we had a conflict of interest in some of the vendors. And I said, well, did we have any conflicts? Well, no, we didn't find anyone. Okay. Every case is a case by case. I guess it depends on how the conflict developed and on and on. Yeah, they want to know what we would have done had there been a conflict. Yeah, page 15, right?
I don't think it's gonna be.
This is our policy. Yes, I do. I'll take this out.
Do you want to just leave this one? So you can give it to Ms. She wants to sign off on it too.
So Danny, are you here for the overtime?
No, sir.
You're not on the agenda.
I'm just here to witness and see what's going on.
Good deal.
Oops. Started signing in the wrong place. Well,
I told him I just wanted to read it for about a month.
Let us all use it. I got to go to Missouri next week.
We'll take it to the beach.
somebody tell you to come pick up your brand new Jeep, or you done picked it up?
I would have buddy.
I guess you heard about that. You went to lose. You want a brand new Jeep.
One is three, maybe that doesn't go. Thank you. What color? That's the construction thing. You didn't say what color. All right. Item number 17, consideration, discussion, possible vote to approve, declare as salvage conference table in JP courtroom that damaged, unsafe, and not repairable. Is that the one that was in there when the truck, the car ran
Yes,
through
sir.
there? We're still hanging on to that?
Anybody need one?
Wait a minute.
Have you looked at it?
Yes, sir, I have.
It's
It's
not
not the
safe. It's very shaky, and the metal part has broken. It would have to be welded and all that.
Well, if Sam Shirley was still
We
here,
got a dumpster for it.
he'd have.
I make a motion.
Second.
We'll go get it out of the
I have a motion by Commissioner Brandon, a second by Commissioner Patino. Any questions? Y'all, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, it's unanimous. 5-0. Item number 18, consideration, discussion, possible vote to approve the Pitney Bowes contract with Shepherd's postage machine in order to be in compliance with the United States postal mandate. Change goes into effect 6/30/24. What is that? Yes, ma'am?
That's what it is right there. The US Postal
What's the
Service.
change? They reducing the postal rate by 25 cents or
No,
what?
I don't think that's it. They're changing the program within the postal machines. Therefore, it has to be updated by June 30th in order to be in compliance, or they will not be able to do their postage there.
What's the cost? What's it?
$186.64 a quarter. I'll make that motion.
Per quarter?
For all the county offices.
No, this is just for Shepherd.
This is just for Shepherd. We already did, the courthouse last time. That's how we found out we had to update a contract that I didn't know existed. So, there we are. It's not too bad the cost, but.
It's less than 1,000 a year.
Yes.
I guess they, back in the day, they used to send out a lot of tickets
Yes,
down
and
there
that's
at
why,
a precinct too. They've always been the highest revenue for as JP courts. So we want to keep them rolling with postage. Had a motion by Commissioner McAnally, second by Commissioner Brandon. Any questions or concerns? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. It's unanimous, 5-0.
thank you very much, sir.
Something needs to be signed?
Yes, you got
Okay.
it.
Thank you so much. Are y'all looking at the copy there? The line for my signature is not quite 3/4 of an inch long.
Abbreviate.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't? You can have. This guy. Down here, just trading his for this.
SAM-JAC.US. Agreement place for the Pitney Bowes representative.
Just when you get these attorneys in. February is an exception from rule. So,
Item number 19, consideration, discussion, possible vote to approve granting a variance for Joseph Renando for a land swap.
yes, sir. I thought we had this all settled, but I was just gonna sign one piece of paper giving them permission for the land swap. And when the attorneys got involved, they put both your and my name on here, Judge, and I just thought it'd be better with at least two court members to go ahead and run it through court. They're adjacent landowners. The vineyard has bought 170 acres that fronts 190, and he's wanting to have a second easement, so he's trading a full acre for a half acre to get.
So two joining landowners are doing a swap.
Yes, sir.
Well, that is an exception. I mean,
It is. So I just thought it'd be best to put it on the agenda.
Thomas McIntyre stamped it. That's the guy that's with Texas Professional Surveyors out of Willoughby. They do pretty good work.
So real quick, they've sent paperwork and it says exception from the planning process. I don't know if we want to change that, Judge. Do you have that?
Hey,
You're good with it?
exception, exemption, widespread hazard.
Alright,
If the
I'm good.
lawyers are happy, I'm happy.
All right.
And it's within the rules of the county as well.
Do you have a signed one that we're
I
gonna approve?
got one right there. That I just sent over.
Where's,
There's the notary page too.
did they sign it?
They have not signed it. They sent it us to sign first.
Is anybody here on it?
No, sir. I told them they didn't need to be.
Yeah, other than, man, 40 years ago,
I didn't go coming.
yeah, we hadn't run. Who made the motion?
Brandon.
Got a motion by Commissioner Brandon, a second by Commissioner McAnally. Okay, this exception being granted in order, so there should be another page here.
Oh, I got the field notes and stuff right here. Okay.
You know how to get a hold to Mr. and Miss Bear? They're gonna have to sign it from them, sign it, but that'd be fine with me, I don't know. It ain't signed, I don't like approving something, an agreement that's not, that they haven't signed. But you got a phone number on it or something?
Well, there's a phone number for the county yard fella, and there's a phone number for Alvin Martin, the attorney that sent it.
Okay, all right, well, all right. Any other questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, it's unanimous, 5-0. You have a sticky?
Here's the numbers if you want to put with that, Judge.
Yes, sir.
The email.
Thank you. Y'all need to sign that, I guess. So she'll know to come. I'll call him.
It is an exception. Judge Brooks.
All I want to do is sign it.
Yeah,
Then we'll put the stamps on it, you know, that's like,
Right. It's not.
sometimes I'll get a bond over here and they want me to prove a bond on a guy who hadn't signed the bond.
Now, if you don't sign the
Man,
agreement
watch
first,
out there.
Well,
that chair too far.
it'll work, they'll send it and then we'll.
You get a little rubber chair this time? Must have changed them.
I would agree with that.
They come up and down.
It's all approved.
And they get it done.
Item number 20, consideration, discussion, possible vote to approve present 2023 San Jacinto County ESD audit.
So how are we looking?
Good. You guys pass that back to the county judge and the county clerk. The emergency services district is required each year, by the statute to present the audit to you guys. It doesn't have to be approved, it just has to be presented and filed. I like to come to Commissioner's Court to present it to y'all, just in case you guys have any questions or concerns or anything to talk about. we have a pretty, healthy fund balance at the end of 2023.
How long y'all been using these guys?
I'm sorry,
The auditors, how long have you been using them?
5 years, 6
We
years?
took up with them a year or two ago and we
Yeah.
had pretty good luck with them, I think.
Yeah, I like them a lot. They're very, very thorough, but, they're not, they understand the processes, and it seems like. A lot of the reason for the increase in our fund balance is we waited on things post-COVID for so long. So we would have something in a line item to buy a truck. We would expect it in March, and 3 years later we'd get it. So we had a lot of rollover of fund balance waiting on that. So it just so happened at the end of 2023, we ended up getting both of 2 fire trucks in, one brand new pumper at Oakhurst and one at Point Blank. And then Point Blank is sending theirs over to 980. So we did a little swapping around. But just to give you guys an idea, in 2012, we purchased 3, we call them engines, purchased 3 engines for $600,000. We purchased 1 for
You
Oakhurst.
got 3 of them?
In 2012,
Listen,
we purchased 3 for $600,000. Just now, the one in Oakhurst, $597,000.
Good.
So, and the ESD was able to pay cash for that. The ESD doesn't have any debt. And so, when our fund balance looks so healthy, it's because we're saving towards something.
the future.
And so that's kind of where we're at on that. If I can speak real quick on what happened yesterday, it was simply that the power went out. We had a battery backup over there that failed. And so Wayne Jenkins and I from Shepherd met over at the tower. We went in and we plugged it into the other battery backup, and it was back up and running. So we're
How long were they out of service?
couple hours by the time.
Takes somebody time to gather up, whatever, and go over and do it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna present at the next CSD board meeting to have a battery, a generator, a portable one that I can handle, so that I can throw it in my
Y'all
phone
probably
and
can
take
afford
it
it with a
over
$7 million fund balance.
there. Yeah, I think we might can afford it.
Hey, that's what I say. Tell all your volunteers and everybody over there, special thanks from all road and bridge people for
Absolutely.
helping out during this. So they do a well job, but they don't get
Trees
the
have
recognition
been-
they deserve.
Trees have been falling like crazy.
So
But,
thank you guys.
You know, I know that sometimes it looks bad to have a healthy fund balance, but there's a method to the madness, and it's because we want to stay debt free and we want to be able to buy the things that these fire departments need.
Have you got that up on your website yet?
What's that?
Your audit?
No, sir. We just got it approved on Monday last week, and now I'm bringing it to you, but I'll get it put up on it. You want a copy?
Did y'all hire a fire chief for the whole county?
So he is in the interview process. He went yesterday for his last evaluation, and as long as that all went well.
Y'all voted to hire a fire chief for the whole, that's all I'm getting at.
Yes, the ESD voted to hire a fire chief for the ESD. And we narrowed it down to 1, and he's going through his interview process and evaluation.
But aren't all the fire departments individual entities their own?
They are, and so when he starts in the very beginning, he will be a fire chief for a district of none. So, you know, and the emergency services district will have a fire chief, but he will not be the boss of any of them. They're their own entities. So what changes come down the pike, I'm not sure. But for right now, he will be the 2nd district employee.
So how does that work over there where I live at Shepherd? Because the city of Shepherd buys fire trucks, the city of Shepherd owns the building. So how can
I
he?
mean, nothing's gonna change right now.
Okay.
Nothing will change. He will have the same authority over those fire departments that I do, which is this much.
I was curious.
So it'll be, what comes down the pipe a year from now, 2 years from now, I don't know. But as of right now, he will have the fire departments are all their own individual corporations. They just contract with the ESD.
But since I guess we're on the ESD board, I guess I'm around the volunteers a lot, probably a lot more than a lot of people are. And I think you got a lot of them that are just scrawled over it out, and I'll tell you why. Let's say some of them been volunteering for 20, 25 years, volunteering, and never got a dime for it. And then here y'all go out there and hire someone and pay them X amount of dollars, and you won't even buy them a tank of gas. So you have a lot of disgruntled employees, people that are probably leave over this.
Well, the employees do get reimbursed for that, or the fire departments. We give them $15 for every run they make.
Well, it ain't been the last
I
couple of
understand.
year.
They're trying. We gotta start.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't happen. A lot of them are gonna leave over there.
I think as long as this is handled with the right glove,
Yeah.
as
I hope
long
so.
as somebody, if this has become a big business, with having so many fire departments and so many calls
Sure.
and so many volunteers, one person has been handling a lot of those things for a long time. Even if it ends up being another me that can handle operations, grants, training, NIMS, all the things that I don't know a whole lot about, that can help the other fire departments keep in compliance with all that,
Sure.
even if it ends up being that would be great.
Absolutely.
So it all depends on just a matter of how it's handled. But I know that the ESD board is all very sympathetic to the volunteers and what they've done, and we know we couldn't do it without them. So I don't think that the object is to push them out by any means.
Oh, no.
I misquoted when I said 7, that's counting all the.
Yeah, no,
property and
the
stuff.
actual,
Cash is like 3 million.
yeah, the
Yeah.
fund balance is 3.3. No. Yeah, the 7 is just assets. But if y'all will read this in your spare time and look over it, and if you have any questions, let us know.
Thanks.
So if we wanted to change our interlocal that we have with y'all, how would we do? Would we have to submit something to y'all, or does court approve something to submit to y'all?
We have a 5-year, interlocal, and we usually, evaluate it every year because of the dispatch usually goes up depending on what, the amount is.
So if it's some little something that the court decides they want to add, it's not going to be an issue. The court determines that, and then
Well, and then
sends it to y'all for approval.
would sign it. So y'all would just need to do whatever change you guys wanted to do and then present it to the.
Can we do that at any time, or just at renewal time?
Yeah, that can be done at any time. Yeah, just let me know.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Bruce.
No action necessary there. Item number 21, consideration, discussion, possible vote to approve final plat for Capitol Creek Range.
Right here, buddy.
No action.
This is the one that we set bond on, throw bond on
Good Lord, it's big.
recently.
Is there any more engineering bills that,
Yes, there is. They're working on it. We have had some reviews of their engineering, some reviews of their.
Oh, look,
I don't think there's gonna be any major changes.
187 acres.
Although they just had.
187 acres.
I wonder why we didn't just send the engineering bills to them and let them plan straight across?
Well, it was all gonna be part of the fees that are worked into the fees when the final plat is approved. Then all of that will be reimbursed to the county.
Oh, but I don't want to get dragging too far ahead of the horse.
Here,
David does.
the fees are due and that's approved. But this, I don't have the Mylars. I don't know where they are this morning. Oh, you
Morning.
got Mylar. There you are.
Did you bring your checkbook for all these fees?
I did.
We'll take your personal.
Well, that will be due when the signatures that they require are on file. And then it's gone.
This is like property. We'll look into it. There's a guy, there's a guy.
Tricia was
Where's it come in on for the sub?
That was like 2,500,
No,
27.
whatever it was.
Yes, sir, they lives on 30.
Yeah, that's what this is.
It is.
Turn right on 38 on, David, go get Evans Road on 1725. 1181.
Whatever engineering they've got left, it's not gonna affect the plan.
It's on this side, it's on this side.
It's just that I wanna make sure it's in accordance with their deal is.
It's not across there.
So have they come up with anything that wasn't?
Heavy bottom.
No, sir.
So, well, I don't know what's coming out.
I guess they, I'm not looking at a bill, but I'm guessing they spent 10 hours looking at the plat.
Well, I haven't
Hey, what does it come out at?
Sir,
What does it come out at?
where does this come out at?
Yeah. He goes down Gilhaven, your road.
No, it comes 1725, you turn left to go to my place, you turn right to go into theirs.
Oh, okay, it goes all the way down through there.
That's because you're coming from Cleveland. If you come the other way, you turn right to go here, and left to go there.
Your road is 1725.
Oh, wow.
So that's the only entrance, that's what he's asking. He thought it'd come out again.
Wow,
The next
that's the only
phase,
entrance,
the
right?
next phase does not come out anywhere else. It's all one way in, one way out.
Or unless,
Yeah, I think it's only one way.
it is, right now, this is just coming in and out of 1725.
Yeah. Saying the next phase, he was asking, is it gonna have a second entrance?
So you have a second entrance if you have another phase.
They've got 4 phases, so,
Where's it, okay.
and this is just phase 1.
Is it only gonna come out Gilhaven?
1,500 acres.
It ain't gonna come out nowhere else.
He wants to know,
Wow.
how come there's not more than one way in and out? Because if
Well,
the
that's
road
a-
gets blocked,
Creek.
That's
They're
a
all
mercy
trapped.
issue, ain't it?
It's all it comes out to.
Don't think so?
EMS hasn't said anything about it.
Why would it be one way in, one way out? If you block that one entrance, I'm just curious. Just
so
curious.
Well, that means we have to go back and re-look at
I
it.
mean, I'm not living in a one way in, one way out place.
So it can be an issue, but also there's things that test that also has.
Yeah, a footage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
All they got to do is prove the driveway. That's all they're proving. Okay, that's fine. If y'all happy with it, I am. I just, one way in, one way out. Well, I mean,
How many of you,
I won't be moving.
how many you got over there, one way?
I only have one down there.
bunch of,
Bunch of.
Me, I have two. I have two in my area.
right there on that road.
5 acres Independence and 1127.
But 5 acres Independence wasn't built with one entrance. It had 2 to begin with.
No, you closed one of them down, didn't you?
No.
And now you got,
Railroad did.
and now you got a chemical plant there on 1127, so, you know.
One way in, one way out. And that ain't the worst part. The chemical
That's
plant.
not, I don't know what that's.
The chemical plant ain't the bad part. You see what happened over on 787 at Trinity River Bridge? You ever go down 1127, they could do the same thing.
They cut.
Right there at the curve at Trinity River Bridge. The road's about that far from the water. They don't wash that
On what highway?
on 1127.
Where you make a right off the state highway.
Go down that bottom, Blue Mountain. Go down there right before you get to the trail. It's some washed out that whole way.
so Mississippi.
That's state highway.
This road is awful close to.
Last Flowing Wells.
I don't know where the rest of it's at.
Doing anything to protect.
So,
This road is awful close to.
this phase here, is it on the direction, would that be the south end of the
That's what
acreage?
we're asking.
Is the next phase gonna be, it'll be north of this,
I
right?
believe it's north of that, yes.
Yeah, where's the rest of that?
And I believe this section, if I'm not mistaken, does have 2
Yeah, the bottom
entrances.
is 38.
Okay, Well, that's what I'm getting at. I guess, Logan, you're here, if you're the one planning it out,
We're talking about that road.
the court may want to see another way out when they put that next phase in.
That's a mile lane,
Yeah,
it's a mile, T-Y-M-E,
This,
Hamel Lane.
Commissioner Brandon,
Oh, no, it's been there for years and years.
So
they put the next phase in, the court may be looking at, expecting to see another way out to the highway.
Wait a minute, I
Depends
think
on
we,
where they buy it, if they buy more than Mill Creek or whatever, then they might be able to come in there.
So
If
is
it comes
this-
up to Hickory, they can come off of Hickory. It depends on which way they
so
go.
we're trying to figure out where this road is right here, this
So does this
lane
come on
that touches
out?
1725. You have a full map?
no, sir, I didn't bring it, a general plan.
Do you know?
It's all
Is this road right here?
It's,
It's 1725
Where does it go?
here. This is the L.A.
Right there.
This right here would be, that's on their property here.
The property to the west is the Elmore property, that's what they're gonna buy for the second phase. Or third phase, or fourth phase.
This is going down towards Debbie Bottom.
I think the question is, how many entrances and exits it gonna have when it's totally built?
I don't have that answer, I'm just doing the final plat, the last timer's not here with me. But I can give you that information once I get back to the office.
David, you may have it on your computer.
Debbie Bottom right here.
We're just curious where that lane says.
Everything touches Dabney Bottom? They don't have an access to Dabney Bottom?
This is the second entrance here.
No,
on the
No,
second-
when you
I
come
don't
down
guess it's
Debbie
gonna have
Bottom,
anything to
you
do
come
with it.
down Debbie Bottom, you turn right, heading towards
That's-
150.
that's that
Yeah,
outline right there.
Then they're gonna be about 1 mile up
Yeah,
from Debbie Bottom, okay?
yeah.
And then if you come down here, look at that little.
So where is
right
it?
there,
What road is it?
That's Time Lane, it's Mill Lane, not
So
Mill.
that's
Tyler, I'm
1725.
sorry,
You
Tyler.
calling this 1725 here?
That's what it looks like.
Where's the first one?
Oh, that's the Capitol Creek Ranch Boulevard, the first entrance.
It comes out right in front of Gale Haven Ranch
So
Road.
it says Old
It's
Home,
gonna dead end in the
Homestead
driveway.
Lane.
Yeah.
So it is there,
Yes, sir.
right there.
There's the-
That's what we're asking.
That's what I was asking.
It's jumbling up and stuff, man.
It's a winter street.
You asked a question.
I'm sure they're trying to make it this Elmore Road, this Elmore Road right here. There's actually two driveways.
This man, you send this to me?
Private driveway to their house.
You send that to me?
Yes. Randy sent that for you.
Oh, I got you.
All right, that one goes right into that.
That's like what, 58.
And our designated engineer, you've got with Brett for a while, and y'all okay, everything's good? I mean,
They've got some minor fixes and changes to do on there, they haven't resubmitted them yet, but it's not major. You may have that full plan on your computer.
Yeah, there's two. Old Homestead Lane runs out to 1725, as does Capitol Creek Ranch Boulevard.
and it may be another one in the other, one or two sections in the future that we don't know about.
Yeah, so it's not a one-way.
Right, this was
Right, that's what I'm saying.
You're looking at this right here.
There it is, right there.
Right here. Yeah, that's it.
Good.
So you got one here and one here, but on this section here, it's just showing this. We're coming off of Gale Hayes. You got one right here.
So you got some, 1, 2, 3,
There it is.
4, 5,
This is
6-sided shape. What's a 6-sided shape?
Hexagon.
Hexagon. Hexagons with alphabets in there. What are those represent? Sections?
Those are the representations for, the reserve.
Reserve G, Reserve H.
Yes, sir, there's a total of 12 reserves.
Some of them are EMS, some of it's water.
We have a table for the reserves.
There's a house right here, just right here is, 150. This is the trailer here, you got one here.
I don't have a road that parallels the highway.
Oh, that's gonna be a big old subdivision.
It is.
Is that what I'm seeing? Well, no, Reserve I, looks like maybe that's utilities or something.
It's landscape, open space.
So.
It is, it's drainage.
Okay. It's shaped like a road, but
Just
it's,
technical changes.
Yeah,
keep a kind of a buffer there.
Yes.
Sub base
For green space.
and that sort of thing. The widths of the road are perfect.
Let's see how we check.
But it's just some technical stuff that they haven't submitted in here. As far as the H&H, there were some minor, we asked them for some additional flow calculations in 2 of the areas. And they just needed to submit the flow areas. It's not gonna affect the overall water in the area, it's just gonna affect how much goes into this culvert or that culvert. The other thing that we haven't gotten yet is the culvert heights, because they're gonna put, lakes within this thing. And so we need to know exactly how high the lake is gonna be, how much it infringes on any kind of property. So these are minor items, but it could be major if it's a flood.
So are you gonna go with the 3 boards they got?
Yes, I will before it's over. And I don't, but heights and culvert is very good.
So you got a Reserve H down here. What's that? And then Reserve G doesn't have any access.
You know what I'm saying?
And the cul-de-sac,
What's that?
it's only 31 foot wide there. You may be cutting yourself off
Yeah,
from
the fire judge did.
converting it to residential
Most of the
area.
time he's coming back on us.
So,
And
going
I
back
don't
to
know
the first
why,
one,
because you got room there on the cul-de-sac. You got this little part of lot 8 that juts out there. If you made that 60 foot, you wouldn't be cutting yourself off later for. But if it's, a lot of times we see them, that it was a reserve, and the next thing you know, they're coming back and wanting to, then they want to sell that too, because everything's sold like hotcakes.
Yep.
But you kind of cutting yourself off here.
so Reserve H is a water plant site for that.
I doubt you won't sell that for anything, and
And then
Reserve G, and what's it?
Reserve G is a drill site.
To what?
It's a drill site.
Family reserve.
It's for a water well then. Drill a water well, or is there an oil well?
No, it's water well.
I think it's just, I'm not exactly sure what the,
Okay, well, I didn't know, that answers the question.
yes, sir.
That'll be locked in for that. It ain't, you're not gonna be able to come back later and sell
So we're
it.
gonna sell it.
So your agreement with them handling the drainage, is that all cut and dry? Documented?
Everything's the same, they're gonna have.
Well, supposedly you have an agreement with them, that they're gonna maintain all drainage. I mean, is that cut?
And the county maintains a road.
We do the road, they do the drainage.
I mean, is that cut and dry? I mean, that's
Yeah,
the time.
That's what we talked.
I imagine I just got a copy, but, ain't no signatures on nothing I got.
Yeah, there's signatures on the Mylar. Were we supposed to, this is my first time submitting, I wasn't sure if I was supposed to submit the bond copies for the city.
Did we ever set the bond?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
that was last meeting. 3.4 million.
I know we were hovering around 2, and then they came up with their own number of 3.7.
I was looking at 2 and I kept saying it was too low. So we got a number that could turn out to be 3.4, so that's what we said that.
Well, I mean, if they fall on their face, they're gonna get at least halfway through, so they'll have some skin in the game, but then that's where I was figuring 2 million on cover.
We wanted to make sure we have the whole amount in there.
The whole hog.
We've been through some of these before.
So Commissioner, I'd be willing to make a motion, but you're probably not gonna like it. I'm gonna pending the fees be paid, all the fees.
I agree with that.
I'll make the motion pending the fees be paid.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
The attorney, I mean, not the attorney, but the engineer fees.
David, the signature. Signatures.
I have a motion by Commissioner Natuno. Did I get a second? Second by Commissioner McAnally, that the final plat be approved pending payment of all the fees. Any other questions? So if you're going down the road, this is that part of the Elmore property that's the wooded part, right?
That's correct.
Okay, all that pasture, that's not even, none of that's included in this section.
No, part of that's actually in the reserve, at 50 acres, or that 50 acre setback.
Is it?
Yeah. I think the Elmores are some kind of deal with that.
Any other comments? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. It's unanimous, 5-0.
All in sections too. They're in sections too.
I know they won't get after it. They up and sign them all right here. When are we gonna know what the fees are? So they could be like set them, I set them.
We just pulled it right out of the book. There was X plots, plats, or lots that are in there, added the engineering fees, and there was some dog fees, I think, finally. Don't remember, but it was just close to $5,000.
And more gonna sign, what?
No, these are categories. These are what you just looked at.
Shit.
That's been accepted. They're gonna see this. It's gonna be.
And when the money gets through, I'm gonna sign it.
There you go.
As soon as I just never forgot. I don't know what happened with it. We went ahead and filed it.
Am I confused?
There's two of them. I gotta get them.
Hey, crayon?
That went wrong with it.
You gonna give me that red G before it's over.
You get the big ones, you use the little ones.
Little ones.
Crayon. Do y'all still have your crayons?
Larry,
I brought up some
Larry,
crayons.
Mark,
with me.
the judge is asking you something.
Didn't I give y'all some crayons?
I still got mine out here, but I ain't broke them in yet.
You need to get a coloring book for him now.
Yeah.
David brought us some blue teeth.
Yeah.
Did you bring us some blue teeth deals?
I think you took them back.
Yeah. back in the day?
I think he took them back.
David, you remember back in the day, David?
What's that?
Do you remember that far back in the day?
I remember way back.
That was in 2007,
Oh, it is.
2008.
He brought y'all up?
That's how the motion was drafted.
Here, the phones and computers. We got Commissioner Green on that whole thing.
Just taking.
And he did it as a joke. I'm already self-business. We're going to.
Oh, God.
It was you.
So we're talking
You're
about.
bold, like
Yeah.
before.
That thing was huge. We walked around and saw things in it. I was 6 months.
Yeah, that was funny. I enjoyed that.
This is a big old man. He's a big man.
Why have you signed it in Hill?
I can't hear you.
Why have you signed it?
I did.
Well, I know, but the fees have been paid.
Judge is not gonna sign it until he
He's
gets
not
the
gonna,
fees.
the judge ain't gonna sign it final until the fees are paid.
All right.
Have you signed it, Donna?
Yes, sir.
Item number 22, consideration, discussion, possible vote to approve to pay overtime pay for precinct 1, 2, 3, and 4 road and bridge employees that are instructed to work during the 2024 flood and recovery. 23, consideration, discussion, possible vote to pay overtime pay for sheriff's office employees for all duties related to flood and disaster declared for San Jacinto County. 24, consideration, discussion, possible vote to pay overtime for OEM staff required to work for the disaster April 26, 24 through the duration of the 24 flood. 25, consideration, discussion, possible vote to approve to pay overtime for extension service staff that are required to work for the disaster of April 26, 2024 through the duration of the 2024 flood.
Judge, I put this on here, and we can discuss all of these, and it's up to the court to make a decision. I was speaking for the road and bridge, and everybody can speak for their own. But the one thing I would like to know is on item 24 and 25, explain duration to me.
So on the duration part, so like yesterday's storm is part of the disaster, it's still ongoing. So we're still gonna, it's part, like I said, it's still part of this whole
Okay.
disaster.
Did y'all incur overtime yesterday?
No, not yesterday.
Okay. Okay.
I would think duration is up to now. I don't think the disaster's over with. Now we're in recovery
I
stage.
agree.
And that was language I put because I was in a hurry.
Okay.
But I understand your point. It's not just on and on forever and ever. I'm talking about a crew to date. And the disaster mode, we're out of disaster mode and been out of it for a few days, or what I'd say when the shelter closed.
Well, the thing about it is the duration to me, that this could be 4 or 5 years down the road.
That ain't what I mean. And I sure hope when the motion gets made to pay everybody that it has it through the day.
Well, the other thing is on durations, how many hours, what's the cap on the hours per day?
Well, everybody works different. It's whatever the normal hours are.
Well, I would make a motion to pay the overtime, but it needs to be submitted and approved on the next court.
I would also like to see documentation of, one, because FEMA's gonna have to have it anyway.
Yes.
The reason why they were over working over, and every documentation that FEMA's got, we're gonna know some more about that tomorrow.
You like to see documentation on who?
Everybody, we're talking about whoever's submitting it.
Whoever's turning in.
I mean, yeah, we're putting it on time sheets saying overtime,
Right.
but just like yesterday, for instance, every one of my employees worked over yesterday. But, yesterday is in this week, which there's not gonna be a 40-hour pay period in this week, because we didn't work, there was a holiday.
Sure.
So they're not gonna get overtime.
Right, I understand.
Sure.
So,
Well, that's why I got in my motion to have it, everybody needs to submit it, all their time sheets, what they did, and what that overtime is being paid for.
Sure. Yeah, because one of the things that doesn't pay for is standby time.
Right.
It just, they're there, but they're standby, and that's not reimbursed.
That would be my motion.
Well, that's like last time, I think they turned it in 24 hours a day. Well, I think they cut about 8 hours off of that, because that's what you sleep. And I get that.
Yeah, that's the point I was just trying to get to. I don't want an expectation or not.
The motions for all 4 of these items, I presume.
Yes, all items included that you just read off.
I have a motion by Commissioner McAnally. Who made the second? Commissioner Brandon made the second. Any other questions? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, it's unanimous.
5-0.
See there, Chief, I got one right on that one. 5-0, it's unanimous. Next, we'll move back to see if we got any bills to pay. Item number 6.
You want to see the overtime?
it says,
Hey, I can't touch it, I'm gonna close at 5-0. I had a question for y'all down there real fast. So on the extension office, right, on our overtime, the state's gonna pay half of that.
well, it says staff.
Okay.
One thing that we didn't put in that motion.
So on her overtime,
It's where they.
she gets one check
They
from
had it on there.
us and then one from the state, or how's that work?
Yes.
Yes, but when she was discussing.
Or does she
with
get
us-
a check this big and you're paying some of it with state money? They issue her a separate check?
That's all on their side, but what she was saying is the state does not compensate her when she is handling
In the motion.
the overtime on her staff, along with her staff.
Do y'all know she was up there till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning taking care of folks' dogs, and people bring their dogs in and they just leave them with her? I mean, she was over feeding.
Do you realize I was out there waiting water this deep,
I
letting people
understand.
out at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning?
Can I finish?
Yeah. It ain't all of it. Sometimes when you got a job, that's what you take. That's your job. Regardless, look at all the other
I
times.
guess I can't finish then.
No, look at all the other times that we've idled along and we hadn't had to do much. And one time you come to disaster and you have to work. I just don't get it. Don't get it. Now you can finish.
Well, thank you, Commissioner. I'm just telling you, you may not realize what she was doing. She's up there all hours of the night. People bring them dogs in there, and she's feeding them, washing them, cleaning their poop out. Dogs that bit her, scratched her, clawed on her. I had no idea. I wouldn't have been doing that.
I seen it. I watched her do it too. I sat over and talked to her one morning.
That ain't what she's
When
a
she was
extension
walking.
agent. The Kingdom has kind of roped the extension in this, and they were directed to do that. And
Yeah, I think by the government.
But by the state, the people who paid her half the salary, they made her do that. We, the county, didn't. So the state needs to pay their part too. Sorry, I don't mind us paying our part. I'm not saying not pay the lady, but the state needs to pay their portion too to
Well,
us.
how about I think we should probably try to get them to reimburse us, but my goodness.
Sure.
She slept up there because she got flooded out, couldn't get back to her house. I'm like, I can't believe you did all that.
She did a good job.
Judge, I think we've already voted to pay them, but
Yeah.
one thing we did not include was maintenance. And look, and I'm not saying it's some other county employees that we didn't include either. So I don't know if we need to open that back up and include anybody that applies and qualifies.
Yeah, there you go. I agree with that.
We have to have the information, the documentation, and they have to qualify.
I think we can put that on another agenda. I
Okay.
think we're stuck with what we got
Yeah.
down here. I'm not opposed to, because Lonnie came up there and I met Mark Wells up there after hours, but
Yeah.
he wasn't there long, but he had to come up there and hook up the damn computer and make it where they could print out and scan things to
All our people did a well job.
I know that.
All of them did.
Now, let's open, let me amend, well, let's just do another motion to amend, 22, 3, 4, and
Sure.
5 to include any one that qualifies on overtime to be paid in the disaster.
All right.
But they've got to qualify with the same thing as everybody else. You know, they've got to write down what they did, what makes them qualify.
Essential report.
Yes.
And so we made our 32 hours this week, Mr. Dieter.
All right, I have a motion by Commissioner McNally to amend the motion on overtime to include any county employees that actually worked overtime related to the disaster. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
Commissioner Mars.
Oh, we, county employees.
Any questions? All in favor say aye. It's unanimous, 5-0.
Are you a county employee, Judge?
Yeah, but elected officials don't get overtime.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
We've seen it.
They have before.
We've
No,
seen it.
no, they did it twice, and 2 guys got it. I'm telling you, we don't get it.
I don't expect to. I'm just saying, don't say they didn't get it because I've seen it.
No,
Me and
I
Mark
know,
seen it.
and it shouldn't have been paid,
I agree.
but that's water on the bridge, statute of limitations done run on that.
And what I'm saying right there where he's sitting,
He got paid too? I just only know it too.
no, he got paid too.
Well, that's
Yeah.
That's 3.
That's 3 then.
He did, didn't Mark?
Yeah.
It wasn't much, but he did.
Him and Mark talked about it in the van.
It was San Antonio when it started with.
He was in Austin.
Somewhere. San Antonio, I thought it was.
He was in Austin.
Alright. Item number 6, consider approval of claims.
Do you have any on there you noticed? That you, have any on there you noticed? Do you have anything on them changes, David? I'll make that motion.
A second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Mars, second by Commissioner Matuno. Well, these might not be the first. I see Greg McGee had allowed fees for $400. In guardianship and probate cases, sometimes I have to appoint attorneys that allow them. But I also signed a standing order. When you file a probate or guardianship case, lawyers have to put up $400 to pay this fee. And that's the only reason this is coming out here, because that money has been paid in. That's their responsibility, and then once it gets in the clerk's register, wherever it goes in, you have to do an affidavit
I don't know.
to pay these guys.
I've never seen that.
It's not costing the county.
I don't know where they got that from.
So Margie, on the 79 account, Miss Ainsworth, excuse me.
Was that on you?
There's some revenue in here from precinct 2 for 79 account. Is that?
Revenue? There shouldn't be any revenue in there.
Not on the bills.
Flood.
You talking about under the budget amendments?
That's on the very preset.
Is that from you?
Is that just coded wrong?
I didn't see that.
No, neither. I ain't paying attention to
Does
that.
what you're talking about have anything to do with us paying the bills?
Yes.
Yeah.
What was it for? How much?
That's not supposed to be in there. Something got posted on.
5,300. Something
$4,453.
over.
53.
That goes in the 401 account, doesn't it?
24, 401.
County judge account.
We'll get it out, plus interest. At a daily rate.
Yeah, that got posted to the wrong account number. That needs to be corrected.
5316 to Texas Materials.
Yes.
The account number on it, 007903001422.
Yeah, that's not, that's his revenue account line. He hasn't gotten revenue line yet.
No,
It should be, his number for materials.
We'll change it. I just went off what was on it. So I'll change it before we approve it.
okay.
Thank you, Eagle Eye.
I just revenue, I'm like, what revenue you'll get from the storm already?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the only one getting paid, huh?
Yeah, right.
All right, any other comments on the bills? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes have it, it's unanimous, 5-0.
With the change.
So it should be.
Dr. Morris, can you reach this?
Me? Can I read it?
Reach it.
Oh, I thought you said, can I read it? I said, I hope so.
He's just getting back to it.
I did, I thought he said, can you read it?
Number 7, consider approval of budget amendments and revenue certification. I don't see any in my stack here.
It may be under the other line item where we moved. It should be under,
That one in regular.
it was under
16.
6.
I didn't have it long ago either.
Yeah, 16, all right, let's go over to 16. I'm not sure if that was up. She sees that form for our agenda item, she goes to it. 15.
Thank you.
All right. 16, 15.
15, I'm sorry, Mitch. One off.
I don't think I had it here either. Picking on 16.
Almost 16 too. You said 15.
15.
My hell.
Capital outlay 110. What was you gonna buy that you had to buy material with? Commissioner?
I was gonna buy a new tractor, but it went to the wayside.
Let's see.
My roads are more important. Getting people in and out.
This DA budget amendment, if the grant don't come through, then this goes right out, back out the door next year, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That was my understanding.
That's what he said.
Yeah, well, that's what we
They
said.
said all the races, they all knew would go back, they wouldn't get them.
We're also having the time for that as well. Soon enough to get ready.
That was smart.
We always put it on the back of the form.
That's what this is.
I mean, with the,
All I can say, gonna be some quitting employees next year if they don't get it.
I know it's a one-shot deal. That's true.
You know?
It's not like they're gonna just cut us out.
I'll make the motion on the budget amendments.
So, motion by Commissioner Antuno, a second by Commissioner Mars. I'm sorry,
Thank Laddie.
Commissioner McAnally.
Don't mess with that.
Any comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, it's unanimous, 5-0.
What we have now?
Minutes.
Item number 8, consider approval of minutes of regular meeting April 3rd, 2024, monthly meeting April 17th, 2024.
I got very few reports. I got the audit.
I'll make the motion on the minutes. I believe you're on 8, right?
Yes, sir. Have a motion by Commissioner Natuno, a second by Commissioner McAnally. Any questions? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it, it's unanimous, 5-0. Item number 9, receive and consider approval of April 2024 departmental reports.
Good luck. Y'all get the sanitation reports? I know you did.
Here they are right there.
But there. You didn't get them?
I didn't get home and got the.
Man, your computer must not be working. That's what I'd say. That's my theory. Your computer's not working. Mark's is.
Yeah.
David, yours?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Huh.
It was in the mail, it's in the.
It's in the mail.
It's in the.
Got a fire marshal report.
You did?
I did.
You like that?
Wait a minute, it may just be the cover sheet. Yeah, that's all I got is the cover sheet. Okay. I did not get one.
So I'm missing the district clerk, emergency management,
Wasn't she in here just a minute? She walked out.
extension, addressing and permitting, fire marshal, and veterans.
Is that a motion?
And I'll make that motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Natuno, a second by Commissioner McNally. I'm just guessing because he's right. Commissioner Brandon. Okay. I had my head down. I don't know who said it. I would go on with the odds.
1 out of 4.
Yeah. Yeah. Decent in baseball, not terrible. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Ayes.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, it's unanimous. 5-0. I'd entertain a motion to. Commissioner,
I'll third that motion.
Commissioner, y'all reach, one of y'all reach
First and
this?
second.
Going.
Dr. Mars?
Yes, sir.
Here, reach
Oh, I'm sorry. I swear all together I thought you said. Can you read this? I swear to God, I'm not.